The Way of the Superior Man, a spiritual guide to mastering the challenges of woman, work, and sexual desire. Chapter 37. She wants the killer in you. Among many other qualities, a woman wants the killer in her man. She is turned off if her man is afraid and wants her to kill the cockroach or the mouse while he stands on a chair and watches. She is turned off if her man wants her to get out of bed in order to check out the strange sound in the house to find out if a burglar made the noise. Fearlessness, or the capacity to transcend the fear of death for the sake of love, is a quintessential form of the ultimate masculine gift. Although your woman doesn't want you to be a killer, she is turned on by your capacity to kill, and she is turned off by your lack of this capacity. For instance, imagine that a big cockroach crawls into the living room. You jump on the couch and scream to your woman, "Kill it! Please kill it!" She will probably not be turned on. Or, imagine that you are in bed with your woman at night. You hear some strange noises downstairs in the kitchen. You are afraid. So, you ask your woman to go down and check it out. She is not going to become excited by your masculine valiancy. In both of these cases, your woman will feel your fear. She doesn't want you to be a killer, but she does want to feel that you are capable of facing death if necessary. In fact, she wants to feel you are capable of killing if necessary. If an insane maniac broke into your home and was about to murder your children, your woman would not be particularly happy if you had the opportunity to do something, but instead you said, "Well, okay, Mr. Maniac, whatever you want to do is fine with me." The dark masculine energy of the warrior, the one who could face death and kill when necessary, is an essential part of you. Today's current fashion is to suppress both the dark masculine and the dark feminine, so we have a large population of wimpy men and polite women. But beneath the nice veneer of most women lies the wrathful goddess who would chop the head off of every mediocre new age man. And beneath the patient smile of most men lies the warrior of love who will ravish his woman into bliss rather than listen to her chat in pointless emotional circles. But the dark masculine energy has been suppressed so thoroughly these days that the ordinary man will prefer to paste a smile on his bored face rather than penetrate his woman's tensions with uncompromising love. And he's just as cautious about disrupting his own well-planned life of comfort and security in order to penetrate his own fear of death. Although she may resist it at first, your woman, if she has a feminine sexual essence, wants to feel your fearlessness. She wants to feel your capacity to face her closure, anger, and tension without trying to minimize her feminine force. She wants to feel your persistence in loving so that her fury cannot turn you away. She wants to feel your capacity to stand strong in your own desires and ravish her because you love her, unafraid of her dark energy. She wants to feel this dark masculine capacity not simply because she wants to be ravished, but because it is a sign of your overall capacity to face and know death, your own and others. And it is this capacity that makes you trustable as a man, both as a human warrior and as a spiritual warrior. The knowledge of death makes you humble and courageous. The knowledge of death strips the armor from your heart and allows the knowledge of love. This knowledge of death and love is your doorway through your own fears, through your own clinging to security, and into the unknowable mystery that lies beyond your little cell of self-protected importance. Your woman's desire for your dark side in love is a gift to you. By honoring her desire through the cultivation of your dark and fearless loving, your need for self-protection will decrease, and every moment will stand more naked, vulnerable, and true, released of your need for consolation and false self-assurance. Rather than smiling at your present experience from behind a curtain of safety, minimizing your participation with the always life-threatening potential of the moment, you will lovingly surrender your position and ravish the moment, penetrate to its core, and find yourself identical to it. Feeling through and through is your only freedom. The killer your woman wants is the one who knows that life is a process of dying through to that which cannot be lost. Only in this sacrifice of fear can your heart remain unguarded. Facing the potential burglar at night is only a sign to your woman that you are willing to lose everything into love. All right, excellent. That brings us to the end of chapter 37. And you have to ask yourself this question and really be honest with yourself about it. Are you willing to lay down your life for your woman and for your children? If that answer is no, you need to really think about that. If you're not willing to lay down your life for your woman or your children, you probably shouldn't have them. And you probably should have asked yourself this question before you started having children or before you decided to get a woman. And I guess that's a essential thing to think about. What's the point of being with a woman that you don't think well enough of, that you want to protect her and protect her to the point that you're willing to lay down your life so that she can be safe? If the woman that you're with doesn't make you feel this way, that's something for you to think about. And it may be time for you to be single for a while and see where that lack of courage is coming from. Or you may just be with the wrong woman if she doesn't excite that in you. Any woman in your under your protection, you should be willing to do that. But that's just my opinion. This idea of your woman wanting to see the killer in you, again, this is a test. We live in a world where it is not safe. There are plenty of things that can happen to you in this world, especially to women and children. They are the most vulnerable in our society. So when she chooses a mate, when she chooses you, she's putting her life in your hands. And that is something to be taken very seriously. And this may come off as like being conspiracy theory, but I do believe that we are living in a society where they have purposely tried to dumb down the men out of their masculine role. They do not want us to be our natural, innate selves, because you get rid of masculinity and it's easier to control a population. There has to be a line drawn in the sand where the men say, you know what, I'm not standing for this. If you come across this line that I've set, then there's going to be problems. To hell with it. We will lay our lives down in the street to end this. And that is something for us to think about collectively. Because, I am a black man living in America, living in the world. And we know that this is a system that is against us. And honestly and truly, if you're white or any other race listening to this, there's a worldwide system of control. And this is my opinion based on my experience and research. But it's trying to suppress all of us. The goal, spiritually, even on a deeper level, is to make our way out of this thing. And when I say this thing, I mean like this system of reality. And one of the ways that we do that is by becoming our true selves. Now, how you go about doing that, I'll let you decide for yourself. But right now, I do not believe we have built a society where the majority of our people can live in peace. Living in the physical, there's always going to be some type of problem. There's always going to be some type of challenge to overcome. But it is our job to strive to make that society as good as possible. And right now we are falling behind with that. There's so much that goes on that shows you that this is a unsafe place that we exist in. And I do understand that's a point where we're failing at. We are still waiting on liberation instead of going out and taking that liberation for ourselves. If you're listening to this, a couple of days ago was Malcolm X's, what would have been Malcolm X's 100th birthday, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz. And Malcolm said, you can't get liberty for somebody else. You can't get freedom for somebody else. These are things that you have to take for yourselves. And again, that is that killer instinct in you that says, you know what, I'm not going to go for this. Malcolm would not be okay with the way things are right now. And that's exactly why he had to be assassinated. Malcolm was leading us down a different path. A path that would have led to a very different outcome than the one we're seeing right now. So again, not to get too deep, let y'all have those conversations for yourself. Your woman is waiting for that killer in you. She wants to see it. Just on a, I remember when me and my fiance first started talking, we were coming out of a club, and I guess she may have been walking behind me, but in the line going into the club was somebody that knew her from school, and he reached out and grabbed her. And I just reacted. I took his hands off of her. Like she said I did some type of karate move, but I don't think I did. I just simply grabbed his wrist or his forearm and removed it from him. You don't just grab a woman, especially not my woman while she's with me. That's crazy. But I'm glad that situation happened because didn't even have time to think. I just reacted, and it was the right reaction. You have to have that natural sense to want to protect. And it's natural, but I also believe that a lot of it is taught to you by the men in your life as well. My father would have to leave and go different places on deployment. He would tell me, you're the man of the house. Or I remember being a kid and men coming up to my mother while we're out and about, and I'm giving the mean mug because what the fuck you talk to my mom for? But it was just natural, protecting your territory. And I believe that is something that has to be innate in all masculine men, and we need to do whatever we have to do to stop that from being taken away from us. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. As always, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and you hit the bell notification. Check out my ebook, Free Your Mind to Have Peace of Mind. I'll leave the link to that in the description for this video. And yeah, man, one of the things that's going to allow you to have that killer instinct in operating from your true masculine core is having that peace of mind. That's your natural state. And it's life and these situations that we find ourselves in that tries to pull you off of your base, that tries to pull you out of your center. And there's so many things that does that. It can be your job trying to piss you off. It can be the people that you interact with daily. It can even be handling situations that arise with your mate or your children. You have to know how to stand on that square of peace. If not, prepare yourself to be faced with a lot of troubles. More troubles than what you would come across if you are operating from your square of peace. So again, free your mind to have peace of mind. 7 practices for supreme peace. I'll leave that link in the description. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Peace.